So Dr. Jordan B. Peterson has decided to return fire at Marvel after Marvel, unfortunately for them, decided they were going to try to turn him into a Yahtzee. Even the Babylon Bee has been getting involved in this, and you know what? Marvel might not win, Captain America might not win, but you and I, we're going to get a good laugh out of this stuff. Oh, good times, huh? Good times indeed. So hey there to all you fine folks on this fine day, by the way. So if you missed out on how this started, Ta-Nehisi Coates, who has been on Captain America for 2 years now, decided he was going to end the series just like how he started it. He would end it with a political woke message. How better to message that too than go after Jordan D. Peterson, turning him into the Red Skull, who again is Yahtzee Supreme. Now for those of you unfamiliar with Ta-Nehisi Coates, this behavior, it shouldn't be surprising in the least. Not just because Marvel itself, they allow things like this, they've allowed it quite a few times, in fact, but because in his autobiography, Between the World and Me, he wished death on 9/11 first responders. In the days after, again he's talking September 11th, 2001, he's in New York. I watched the ridiculous pageantry of flags, the machismo of firemen, the overwrought slogans. I could see no difference between the officer who killed Prince Jones and the police who died or the firefighters who died. They were not human to me. Black, white, or whatever, they were menaces of nature. They were the fire, the comet, the storm, who could, with no justification, shatter my body. They were not human to me. If firefighters and policemen are not human to a person like that, people that have differing opinions on life, they probably aren't human either. So something like this, it shouldn't be surprising. But still, when you look at that picture here, Jordan D. Peterson, 10 Rules of Life, you can see different titles here as well. He's trying to face him off with Captain America. You're not Captain America in this, not Captain America by a long shot. Now, Jordan D. Peterson's initial response is just like anyone's else you would see. You have somebody screenshot this. They say, hey, look at this. Does this look familiar to you? And Jordan D. Peterson, he says, well, what the hell? What the hell indeed? See, that's a kicker to a Marvel Comics, though. They love to tell people that they're a diverse brand, that they're an inclusive brand, that everyone's a superhero at Marvel. And yet, you see the reality of Marvel Comics, it is an uglier thing. I mean, they will hire people that will attack individuals like Jordan D. Peterson. They'll attack people like Doug Ernst. They'll attack groups of people, myself included, in that they allow the people that work for them to treat people like absolute trash, block botting on. Because you know what? At the end of the day, they only respect their egos. Now, Jordan B. Peterson, for his part, he could have reacted to this very, very negatively, and that's what they want, by the way. They want the negative reaction. They want you to be angry. They want to play the victim. But instead of that, Jordan B. Peterson, he owns this. And look at this here. So the Red Skull says, the secret to your existence is right in front of you. It manifests itself as all of those things you know you should do, but are avoiding. Like I said, he owns the gimmick here. People enjoy this too. I mean, if you look at that, he has 13,000 likes on it, 130 quote tweets, and 1,281 retweets. Again, people like this more than they actually like the comic book. Now, not to be outdone by Jordan B. Peterson, Jordan B. Peterson also decides to post this as well. Red Skull says, if your life is not what it could be, try telling the truth. If you cling desperately to an ideology or wallow in nihilism, try telling the truth. Again, he's embracing the gimmick here. He's doing what he should do with it, and people, they're eating it up. I mean, look at all the likes to this one. 13,300 likes. So again, between the two, you have 26,000 plus likes. You have 124 quote tweets with this, people laughing about it as well. And retweets, you also have another 1,272 retweets. Man, people, they're loving it. Now, that in and of itself is pretty freaking funny, but this repost here, it takes the prize. Why? Because it comes from the Babylon Bee. In New Captain America, Steven Rogers swayed by Red Skull videos to take responsibility. Clean room. Let's look at this article. Now, like I said, this is from the Babylon Bee. If you don't know the Babylon Bee for some reason, you should definitely check them out. They are absolutely hilarious online. And you know what? When they're making jokes about things that seem absurd right now, in another year or two, maybe they'll come to pass like so many other things that we've seen. Look at all the people that have just decided to share this by itself, too. You have 632 people alone on Twitter sharing it, 4,700 plus people sharing it on Facebook, for a grand total of shares. This has crossed other channels as well, 6,100 plus shares, and that doesn't come anywhere close to how many people are reading it. Isn't it interesting that the only way you can actually get people to talk about a Marvel comic is to have something like this? Because otherwise, they are unfreaking readable. But this is what they have to say in it. U.S. In the latest issue of Captain America from Marvel Comics, Steve Rogers goes down the rabbit hole after binging Red Skull's popular new YouTube channel. Red Skull is known for sharing dangerous and counterculture messages to young men, telling them to take responsibility. That's a terrible message, right? Ordering their lives properly, and cleaning up their rooms. What a monster. I can see why they made him Red Skull now. Ta-Nehisi Coates has penned the gripping new storyline where America's spandex-clad champion, who has historically stood for justice and democracy, is converted into the polar opposite of all of that. An alt-right sympathizer who works on himself and refuses to use a person's preferred pronouns. Captain America is basically a Yahtzee now. In the story, the villainous Red Skull is depicted as ensnaring the disinfected youths of a postmodern culture where evil alt-right messages like tell the truth and pet a cat when you encounter one on the street. What a monster again. In one horrific scene, Steve follows the Red Skull's nefarious and bigoted advice to, quote-unquote, make something beautiful and to, quote-unquote, set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. We see him whisper, Hail Hydra, as he organizes his closet. He then hangs a beautiful Monet picture on the wall of his recently redecorated home office. Experts say Captain America is only the latest to be sucked in by Red Skull's evil call of self-improvement and straddling the line between order and chaos. Marvel has hinted that in the next issue, Captain America will undergo diversity and anti-racism training at S.H.I.E.L.D. headquarters and be rescued from the dark path he's on. Now, I'm proud at the end of the day that Jordan Peterson, he can stick up that finger and laugh at these people, but at the same time, the people it's meant to placate, they're dangerous. Why? Because these are the same folks that are now calling him and so many other people Yahtzees yet again, and those folks, they had conversations about when is it okay to punch a Yahtzee. They said all the time, mind you, they think it's okay to other people because they don't agree with them and then do harm to them. And yeah, Marvel Comics, they're selling that through Captain America. They can't sell anything positive to it, but they can sell division. Yeah, that's really what Captain America was meant for, right? But anyway, I thought I would show you this. I thought I would get your opinion on it. Let me know what you think about it. As always, too, appreciate the heck out of you. Want to tell about the channel? Share this stuff everywhere. Sub to the channel and check out the links in the description. Also, again, appreciate you being here. Can't say that enough. Thank you, and I'm going to end here.